Welcome. Welcome to the Contemplative Meditation. I am Reverend Melissa McQueen-Simmons, the virtual pastor and spiritual director for Holy Ground Spiritual Center. I'm going to work on this lighting a little bit. I want it a little bit darker. I am glad you have joined us today for the Contemplative Meditation. We are part of this is part of our 3-part series for the quarter. And last month, if you joined us, the theme was interpersonal regulation. And I want to encourage you to go look at our last meditation titled Interpersonal Regulation. You can find it on Facebook, Holy Ground Spiritual Center, and you could find it on our YouTube channel with Holy Ground Spiritual Center if you want to freshen up and be able to be familiar with all 3 parts. And interpersonal regulation in its simplest form is allowing yourself to see how your essence, your energy, your way of living and being and showing up, how it affects other people. Do you charge folk? Do you drain folk? Do people charge you? Do people drain you? What do you allow? What happens with energy as you are connecting with people in space? So that was our last meditation. This meditation is healing through hearing. Healing through hearing, in which I will make some sounds for you to hear. I'll make some external sounds, and then we will have a moment where we can listen to the internal sounds. So, welcome to this meditation. And next month, the last part will be relationship repair and or release. Repair and or release. So, I want to now invite you to take a minute to pause. This is also the time for you to prepare your space for this meditation. This is a time for you, if you have decided you want to bring in sound or incense or light a candle. This is the time to do this. This is also the time as you prepare, if you want to take a moment to pray, take a moment to lift up any names. If you want to bring someone into this space, a picture, a fragrance, a smell, an energy, a thought, a sacred item, now is the time to do that. As we begin to allow ourselves to be in this space, to reflect on how we can heal through hearing. Healing through hearing allows us to open our ears and hearts when people share their concerns with us. This allows us to create a brave and safe place to build trust with others, to create relationships, and to sustain healthy relationships. Now that we have paused and are settled into our spaces, I am going to actually bring in our our quote for journal writing, because during this time, this contemplative meditation is a space for you, intentional space for you to pause, relax, reflect, listen, share, write. This is a place for you. And some people choose to write. So we are intentional each time. And for those who I use these empowering questions, I will pull a question each time. And some of you all will use this question to write and reflect as you listen to the meditation. Okay. Ooh, here we are. What does love mean to me? What does love mean to me? You can use this as your journaling prompt. You can also take a picture of this and write about it later or reflect on this later. What does love mean to me? Also, during this meditation, we will have a moment of silence. And sometimes silence can be uncomfortable for some people. So you can use this question as your filler for the uncomfortable experience you may have during silence. So now that we have paused, I want us to slowly allow ourselves to relax. Wherever you are, allow yourself to get comfortable. This is also a moment for you, if you are not writing, at this moment, to close your eyes and focus on your breath. So let's take a moment to focus on our breath by inhaling and exhaling naturally through our nostrils. So let's inhale. Let's exhale. Let's inhale. Let's exhale. Let's inhale. And let's exhale with cool breath. Let's inhale. And let's exhale with the warmest breath or the hottest breath you can make. Inhale. Exhale with cool breath. Inhale. Exhale with hot breath. Hope you have found yourself in the space where you are comfortable. Now we're going to take some time listening to some external sounds that I am going to make for you. And during this, I want you to just allow yourself to feel The vibration of these sounds. I am going to do 4 different sounds. Allow yourself to feel each of these sounds. Mm. Take a moment to breathe and allow all of these sounds to pass through without labeling them, without describing them, without deciding if they were a good or a bad sound. Just allow your body to feel all the sounds that have been released and shared and felt during this moment. And imagine that you have a mystical third ear located in the center of your head, at the top of your brain stem. This ear does not listen to the mechanics of sound, but to the essence of it. This isn't focused on the sound that you may physically hear it itself, but it hears and feels the energy that the sound is expressing or releasing, the vibration that is felt from the sound. And as you have reflected on those sounds and allowed those sounds to move through your body, those external sounds, now I want us to shift into an internal space. Shift into an internal space. And during this time, allow yourself to hear your own thoughts. Allow yourself to hear the emotions and the motivations behind the words of your thoughts. During this time, listen to your own thoughts and allow yourself to pay attention to the emotions and the motivations behind the words of those thoughts. Think of a recent conversation you have had and allow yourself to use this third ear or this mystical ear to answer. What was truly being felt but not spoken? So take yourself to a previous conversation that you have recently had and use your third ear to ask, what was truly being felt but not spoken? What was truly being felt but not spoken? Maybe this was a conversation with a friend or a colleague or a lover, a partner, or spouse. Maybe it was a brief conversation, or maybe it was a longer one. And ask yourself, what was truly being felt but not spoken? And where was the mismatch between the words and the tone? Where was the mismatch between the words and the tone? What was being avoided in this moment? What was being avoided in this moment? Part of our healing through hearing means that we are honest with ourselves when we listen and hear from others. That includes whenever you don't understand the words, the tone, the intention. When it comes to communicating with others, it's your responsibility to ask the questions. Because what happens is you can create assumptions, and they may not be true. And creating assumptions and not communicating your needs, your desires, your hopes and dreams for the relationship could cost the relationship. It could create an unhealthy relationship, or you could lose the relationship altogether. If we are going to heal through hearing, it's going to be important for us to think about our tone when we are sharing words and dialogue. It's important for us to listen more than we talk when people are sharing their concerns with us. And it is important for us to think about what could be avoided in that moment. As I mentioned earlier last month about healing and doing our work for ourselves so we can show up in healthy energy and healthy intentions. This is also part of doing our work when it comes to healing through hearing. People are going to share their concerns with us. And sometimes we will be around people who will not be able to articulate it with words. And I want you to bring yourself back to that mystical ear between your ears and your brainstem and allow that space to hear the essence, the energy from what people are expressing, whether they are expressing through words or sound or song on paper, through music. It does not require much effort to pay attention to the emotion that people are sharing when it comes to our connection with each other. And yes, there will be people who will share things with us that may not be so healthy or may not be warranted or may not be joyful or put you in a space and the energy that you desire. And just as I mentioned before, it is up to you. It is up to us to share how we feel and what we want to hear or not hear when we are connecting with each other. Listen to the people around you. People tell us so much about themselves, what they believe, how they show up. And it's important to know who is on your side. It's important to know who shares the same values that you do. And it's also important to know those who are opposite than you, those who you are not interested in sharing space with. And it requires you to listen. Listen with all your senses, your ears, your hands, your body, just as I shared the 4 different sounds. Each of them felt different. They sounded different in my body. It's important to know that each being you meet, each part of nature you meet, will move and vibrate your body, mind, energy, and spirit in a different way. And the way we feel when we hear the sound or see the sound or feel the sound is important for us, so we know how to release, communicate, match, listen, and use it for healing when we meet each other. What is the noise around you? There is much noise happening right now. At first thought, what noise is taking up the most space in your body, in your ears, in your mind? What do you keep hearing over and over again? And if you need to write that down, write that down. Is there someone saying something that you cannot stop hearing? Is there someone making a sound that you can't let go of? Is there something in nature that is pulling you, that is pulling your attention? What is the noise happening around you? And is that noise warranted? Do you want to keep that noise? And if not, what is your plan to silence it? How do you plan to silence that noise? Let's now take a minute to bring all of our thoughts, all of our intentions, and everything we've heard. I will do a brief scan from beginning to end of this meditation just as a refresher. And then we will embrace a moment of silence. This is the second part of our contemplative meditation for the quarter. Last month, we Our meditation was interpersonal regulation. And this month is healing through hearing. Healing through hearing allows us to open our ears, our hearts, when people are sharing their concerns with us. Opening our ears and our hearts allow us to create a brave and safe place to build trust with others, to create relationships, and to maintain or sustain healthy relationships. Earlier, I wanted you to imagine having a magical ear or a mystical ear, a third ear, at the center of your head, at the top of your brain stem. And I wanted you to allow yourself to reflect on how the four different sounds that I played vibrated through your body, what it felt like. And after I created the sounds, I wanted you to shift your focus internally and think about and bring attention to your thoughts and the emotions and motivations behind the words of those thoughts. And then I asked you to think about a previous conversation or recent conversation and use this third ear or this mystical ear to answer these questions. What was truly being felt but not spoken? Was there a mismatch between the words and the tone? And what was being avoided in that moment? So now I want you to embrace this moment of silence. And then I will wrap up this meditation and bring you back into this space. For those of you who find silence uncomfortable, you can reflect on the question, what does love mean to me? Embrace this moment of silence. I want you now to bring your attention back into your body, your physical body. Let's take a few deep breaths of gratitude. Let's take a few more deep breaths of gratitude. And when you are ready, open your eyes. Carry all of these words and all of this enlightenment with you. Allow your body to feel the sounds of nature. Know that you can be an intuitive listener, meaning you can hear beyond words by just paying attention to the emotion and listening and bringing attention and being aware of what your body feels like when it hears sound. And know that this is something that you can do each day. As listening to your body and feeling your body when you interact with people or hear other people share their concerns, the way you respond will be healing, can be healing, if you allow yourself to hear and listen to the essence of the sound when you don't understand the words. I know that you are ready to begin this journey of healing through hearing. I invite you to trust yourself and be on with this journey. If you are looking for a spiritual director or a virtual pastor to help guide you on your journey of purpose and memory and ritual, it would be my honor to lead you for your spiritual journey. I am Reverend Melissa McQueen-Simmons. Thank you for joining us for the Contemplative Meditation. Thank you all for your presence, for your gifts that you share with us to keep us able to stay live and use programs to create a space that is beautiful and sacred and holy. Thank you all for those who use your treasures, for donations and tithes, however you call that, for you, offerings. We are grateful for all that you share with Holy Ground. Let's move on throughout this week and this year as we heal through hearing. Blessings to you.